Hi friends, welcome. I just wanted to come back and invite you to join me again in the Succot. It's a wonderful time this week to be tabernacling with God, dwelling in the Succah, inviting friends, inviting you, having some time of hospitality to dwell together in His presence. So I also just want to share a little bit of some fun little stories, just to share in the delight of this holiday. Remember, it's a time of rejoicing. Zeman simchatenu. So again, without further ado, let's wave the palm branch. Before we go in, I just wanted to show you something. So yesterday, since I made the first part, I had a wonderful divine encounter with receiving an amazing gift of 3 of these huge, this is real from Japan, real, right down about a half hour away from where I live. I was I was having a lesson with my singing teacher, who's also my friend, and when I went to her house, I noticed it was a beautiful palm tree kind of looking tree, sort of tucked away that I never noticed before. But when I was ringing her doorbell, it was like I was right up to the door, and I saw back there, they're back on my little balcony too. I have all kinds of things. It was just sort of there, this living palm tree, or very green. It's already dried a little bit since I've taken home, but anyway, I asked her if I could have a few branches and for my sukkah, and she said yes. I have 3 of them, so I put one on the roof, which you'll see when we go in, and I put one on the other side, and then I'm just going to put it here. Remember my sukkah that came from Abraham, the tent maker. Our tent maker has these wonderful system, I don't know if you can see here, but everything's attached to the poles and to the cloth with these amazing little bungee cords. So it's great, and you can use them also for attaching your palm leaves to the structure. So remember when we read yesterday, we're supposed to take these palm leaves and the different species. So anyway, let's go in. And so we always have these shoes that we can leave, so we could leave our shoes. And did you see what we did? We sort of passed, very nice now, you can pass through the palm leaf and come in. Remember yesterday, and now look, we have one of the branches, the palm branches on the roof, so it's starting to really look more like a sukkah as sukkah goes on, and we have another one over here. So anyway, here we are. I'm gonna see if I get a good view there with the little accents of the palm branches that we now have, and now you can see the banner. Okay, is this gonna work, friends? Okay, so it's bright. You learn a lot from the sukkah. It's like I didn't make enough. You're supposed to have it should be a little more shady probably, but you know what I mean. I'm really learning. That's fun, you're in the elements and all that, and that's part of what we're experiencing, and that's part of what I was going to tell the story. So when I was carrying, this is the lulav and the etrog, but when I was carrying this big palm branch yesterday, so I'm carrying a bundle of these 3 big palm branches. You see they're here now. I'm walking through the neighborhood with them, and I could feel it was like holding a sail almost. This is what God was showing me. It was like a sail. I'm holding these palm branches. My friend had given them to me. Plus, when we were together in this moment of her cutting the palm for me, she could feel God's love. I just am sure about it. Anyone there in that moment could experience His love. Even when I took the picture, there was like a rainbow over her. So it was just a beautiful moment. So what I wanted to say too is that when we are faithful to observe God's commandments, really, this is about a mitzvot. It's the mitzvot of Succot. Mitzvot of Succot. So when we're observing the mitzvot of Succot, things happen. We don't have to ask, why am I observing the mitzvot? We do, when we do it, God gives us these things to do. When we do it, He's so faithful to open things up for us. So in that moment, because I was doing the mitzvot of Sukkot, which was, I had in my mind, I wanted the branches for the Sukkah, and I saw that. And then when she was cutting them down, friends, it was just such a beautiful moment when she was cutting them. So when she was cutting them, it was like we were both bathed in this moment with Him. I'll just hold this, it's so fragrant. It was just a moment that we just felt something that was like the wonder of God. And because there was this little rainbow around her when I took the picture, and we were just smiling. It was like just this moment of the day that was unexpected, and it wouldn't have happened. These things happen in our lives, whether it's Sukkot or not, but I really believe the point is that when we're in Sukkot, or these kind of things happen on the feast days, when the Shekhinah, when His glory is just, open for these holy convocations, these kind of meetings, these divine meetings. So anyway, we do have divine meetings all the time, but I just wanted to share that. It was so wonderful. And then when I was walking home with the branches, I couldn't really get on the bus with them because they were so big. You saw how, so I'm carrying 3 of these huge branches, so I'm walking with them down the city streets, and it just felt really fun. We're supposed to be separated out people, so when you're walking down the street with 3 huge palm branches on Succot, you're a separated out person. People would know that something is a little bit, different about you. And if there was another believer that was observing Succot in that week, can you imagine? They would have passed me by and they would have known just what these were, because that's how we're synchronized during these times too. By doing, we become synchronized with each other. Like the other day, I don't know, did I share that about my prayer partner and I, when we were both getting ready our Succot at the same moment? We weren't planning it, but we're on the phone. We're like, oh, I'm on my balcony getting ready mine. I'm on my balcony getting mine. And also other people see and they say, oh, what are the palm branches for? And then you can say, it's Succot. It's a kingdom, a festival of our Lord, of our God. And then it opens up a way to witness and to talk to people. So I'm walking home with these 3 branches and the wind starts to blow, and it was like a sail. I was like going, and I was just learning in my singing class about making your diaphragm like a sail. When you breathe, you want to raise everything up. So it was just amazing. And then I started to see the green. When I'm holding these green, God started to show me and connect me to what I wanted to say is that I started seeing all the green all around me. And it was amazing. It was like God was showing me almost back to the Garden of Eden, just to notice all the green that was coming out of the earth that he, on the day that he made the green and on the day that he made the sun. I just started to notice these elements of the creation in a very highlighted way. So anyway, that was amazing. And as I walked home with my thing and then my branches, and then I started noticing other things. I noticed I took a different route home. Like I said, I was sort of taking the long way home because I didn't really want to get on the bus with all these branches, but eventually I did, because it's a little far actually. It's 20 minutes, it's like 15 minutes even on the bus. So I took a little bit of a detour. I was enjoying this walk. I felt God was leading me on this walk. And then he led me to I never noticed this before, but suddenly I see all these gardening plants, all these plants. I was like, wow, that these, I felt so one with the plants because I was walking with my plant. I almost felt like I was a plant. I just felt like I was a living being, but I just felt like I was alive in the way that God made me alive. Do you know what I mean? It was just a moment, you've had those moments. So anyway, I just started looking outside of the garden store. I was telling my friend, Kim, if you're watching this, I was telling Kim this yesterday, but the man, he just was like, hey, why don't you come in? And then I said, oh, I think I might be in the way with my big, I was just very casual. He said, oh, okay. And then as I walked a little further, I saw a little sukkah outside the garden shop. I mean, it was like a sukkah. It was a little gazebo. But that too, I never noticed, and I might not have noticed, but clearly God was showing me these things. He wanted to show me the connection between dwelling with him in the sukkah this week and all these things that he was leading me on this way home like that. And look at what I just said, leading me on this way home. God's leading us home. He's leading us home through when we draw near to God. He says, draw near to me and I will draw near to you. So when we draw near to God, what is God doing? He's bringing us home. He's bringing us home to him. He's bringing us home to him, and he's home to him means dwelling with him, tabernacling with him, which is the place that we're going to. He dwells inside us as the Holy Spirit, but there's also a real home. We're also really going towards home. We're going towards home. If we're going towards Israel, we're also going towards Israel. But then he's going to also bring back the garden from when he dwelled with Adam before Adam was disobedient, and Eve, and we're going to go back to that garden, and he's bringing us back to that garden. And I know that's what he wanted to show me that day. I just felt it. He was showing me the garden. Then he showed me this next place, and I have pictures to even show. Otherwise, I would myself think I was making it up because I never saw this place. But then there was another sukkah-like building. It was amazing. It was like, huh? I go to this lesson every Monday, and I have ridden my bicycle there. I have walked through these streets, but I have never noticed this little building, and it said come in or something, or it said open, come in. So I was like, oh, okay. And I went in, and there were these glistening silver shovels for digging up the earth, and gardening tools and gardening. It was all a gardening shop in this little funny hut, this like a sukkah, with like motorcycle. It was a crazy little moment, but it was there. And you can see it here in the picture. So anyway, that was like my adventure coming back home with the palm branches. And then today, as you see, I put them up. I have the two entranceways now with the palm branches. So that's what I wanted to share. So then if I can, I want to end with a little praise using the lulav, using these elements that we talked about yesterday. Does anyone remember what they're called? The lulav and the etrog. The lulav, and this is the etrog. I'm going to wait maybe till the sun goes a little bit lower in the sky because it's so bright, and again, I don't know, maybe I look like the transfiguration or something because it's so bright. I've been reading about that because, you know, they had the disciples said, should we make a tent for Elijah and for Moses? And Jesus said, no, no, no. Yeshua says, no, 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 no. Just let's finish up this vision and go back home, and I'm the Messiah. So anyway, no, but there was that, the tents were mentioned in that, in this transfiguration as well, so I've been a little interested in just going back to read that a little. And by the way, this morning, I keep going, and this morning, when the sun came up, it was like, you know, I was sleeping in the Sukkah again last night, and when the sun came up, it was like, you know, the psalm where it says the sun is like the bridegroom coming out of his chamber to meet the bride. I mean, when I woke up, it was like that, like you just see the sun, and the sun just came right up, and I woke up by the sun like the bridegroom coming out of his chamber to meet the bride. And again, this is all about, you know, us being his bride and him coming to dwell with us. So I want to just share all these things with you, how much he opens up to us in this week of Sukkot. And I hope you guys are also, I'm sure you guys are also having amazing, you know, revelations in Sukkot. Just don't forget, you know, we're in his presence now. You know, the world is going on, but right now he's asking us to stay with him, to dwell with him, to tabernacle with him, and he's going to bring us through. He's going to bring you through. Just focus, keep your eyes on heaven, and bringing him in here with us. So it means give thanks to the Lord, for he is good, his love endures forever. So hodu, you put in front 3 times, hodu, hodu, 1, 2, 3, shake, and then ladonai, you don't do anything, you just sit still, and you don't shake it when you do Adonai, and then you're gonna do the 6 directions. So then ki to the right, tov, that means good, to the back. So you're doing basically north, south, east, west, up, and down. Then again, ki to this side, 1, 2, 3. Sorry, don't have a lot of space. And then leolam, up, 2, 3, chasto. Okay. So that would be the Psalm 118. Hodu ladonai ki tov ki leolam chasto. So God bless you, everybody, and you could try that. I'll just sing it without doing the shake because I don't really have so much space. Hodu ladonai ki tov ki leolam chasto. Hodu ladonai ki tov ki leolam chasto. So thank you guys so much for joining today in the Sukkah. And of course the 6 directions represent that God is all around us. And he's omnipresent, he's every direction, and also all the directions of the people coming together in him on this beautiful Sukkot. So God bless you, everybody, and Chag Sameach.